Have you ever looked down at your dinner plate filled with a perfectly steamed, skinless chicken breast, a neat, measured portion of plain broccoli, and maybe a scoop of dry brown rice, and wondered why you still wake up feeling incredibly stiff, exhausted, and plagued by an unshakable brain fog? You have likely been told for decades that eating clean, cutting out all the junk food, and sticking to the basics is the absolute golden ticket to a healthy, vibrant retirement. Yet, despite following all the rules, your joints still ache bitterly when you try to get down on the living room floor to play with your grandchildren, and your digestion has become more unpredictable and uncomfortable than it ever was in your 30s. It is deeply frustrating to do everything right, to follow the strict dietary rules we were taught years ago, only to feel as though your own body is still somehow betraying you. But what if the incredibly clean, repetitive diet you are relying on is actually the very thing starving the most important, life-sustaining defense system in your aging body? The hidden culprit behind your daily fatigue and joint pain is likely not what you are eating, but what you are critically missing. By eating the exact same 5 or 6 healthy, safe foods every single day, you are accidentally starving your longevity bacteria, the microscopic, powerful army living in your gut that directly controls everything from your systemic inflammation to your daily memory function. Today, we are going to fix that together. We are going to uncover the 30 plant secret, a completely transformative and gentle approach to eating that will wake up those dormant longevity microbes, lower your inflammatory markers, and help you reclaim your precious energy, all without ever making you feel like you are on a restrictive, miserable diet. By the end of our conversation today, you will know exactly how to feed your body to protect your independence and vitality for years to come. Before we dive into the fascinating details of this life-changing approach, please consider subscribing to our channel if you have not already. We share the kind of deep, science-backed senior health tips that doctors simply do not have the time to explain in a rushed 15-minute clinical appointment. And I would absolutely love to know, where are you watching from today? Drop your city or state in the comments below, because it is always so wonderful and inspiring to see where everyone in our community is joining us from. Let us start by fundamentally rethinking the whole concept of a healthy plate with a shift we will call the Rainforest rule. For so many years, we have been conditioned to meticulously count our calories, watch every milligram of our sodium, and ensure we get enough lean protein. But almost no health professional ever tells us to count our plant diversity. It is so incredibly easy to fall into the comfortable habit of buying the exact same bag of baby spinach, the same bunch of bananas, and the same bag of carrots every single week at the grocery store because it is familiar, safe, and easy to prepare. But a landmark massive study from the American Gut Project, which meticulously analyzed the microbiome data of over 10,000 people, discovered something absolutely fascinating and game-changing. They found that individuals who consumed 30 or more different types of plants per week had a vastly more diverse, robust, and healthy gut microbiome compared to those who consumed 10 or fewer plant types, regardless of whether those people were strictly vegan or ate meat. Why does this matter so deeply for you as you age? Because your gut microbiome is exactly like a sprawling ancient rainforest. If a rainforest only contains 3 types of trees, a single passing disease or drought can wipe out the entire fragile ecosystem in a matter of weeks. But if that rainforest has thousands of different interdependent plants, it becomes remarkably resilient, strong, and teeming with defensive life. When you eat the exact same clean foods every single day, imagine your delicate blood vessels and gut lining slowly rusting like old, neglected metal pipes because the specific bacteria responsible for producing anti-inflammatory compounds are literally starving to death from a lack of their unique favorite foods. The actionable takeaway for you here is to gently stop obsessing over counting calories and start counting your plants. I want you to keep a simple piece of paper on your refrigerator and just make a small tally mark for every unique plant you eat this week, slowly aiming to reach that magic, life-giving number of 30. Now, I completely understand that right now you might be thinking that trying to eat 30 different whole fruits and vegetables sounds absolutely exhausting, especially if chopping, peeling, and standing in the kitchen is hard on your back or your arthritic hands. But the next strategy makes this goal incredibly simple and manageable. We will call this the spice cabinet hack. You see, plants do not just mean giant, intimidating bowls of raw salad. The plant kingdom includes seeds, nuts, herbs, and spices. Spices are essentially highly concentrated, freeze-dried plants packed with an astonishing amount of powerful antioxidants called polyphenols, which your longevity bacteria absolutely love to feast on. To put this into perspective, a fascinating, rigorous study published in the Journal of Nutrition by researchers at Penn State University found that adding just 6 grams, which is about 1 single tablespoon, of a mixed spice blend to a meal, significantly reduced inflammatory cytokines in the blood of older adults, compared to when they ate the exact same meal without the spices. Imagine your everyday spices not just as simple flavorings to make your food taste better, but as highly targeted, high-powered fertilizer for the most crucial, beneficial bacteria residing in your digestive tract. Just a small pinch of cinnamon on your morning bowl of oatmeal, a generous dash of dried oregano stirred into your afternoon soup, or some golden turmeric sprinkled over your scrambled eggs each, count as a unique plant toward your goal of 30, and they send a massive, soothing wave of anti-inflammatory fuel directly to your aging cells. Your simple, effortless takeaway today is to open your spice cabinet, look at what you already have, and commit to adding at least 2 different spices or dried herbs to your meals every single day. Moving right along, let us talk about the visual aspect of your meals with a vital concept we will call the deep color defense. As we age, our cells naturally and unavoidably accumulate damage from a process called oxidative stress, which accelerates everything from frustrating memory loss to the dangerous stiffening of our arteries. The longevity bacteria in our gut, however, have an incredible superpower. They can take the rich color pigments from dark-colored plants, break them down, and convert them into powerful, circulating protective shields for our aging brain and heart. Unfortunately, the standard traditional clean diet is often very beige, white, or pale green. Think of chicken, rice, potatoes, and pale iceberg lettuce. A highly compelling study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed thousands of older adults for years and found that those with the highest dietary intake of anthocyanins, which are the deep blue, dark purple, and rich red pigments found in foods like wild blueberries, blackberries, and red cabbage, had a significantly slower rate of cognitive decline, equivalent to their brains functioning up to 2.5 years younger than their chronological age. Think of these deep, rich-colored pigments as a fresh, thick, protective coat of rust-proof paint being carefully applied to the delicate, aging wiring of your brain. If you are struggling with daily brain fog, finding yourself forgetting names, or silently worrying about your long-term memory, starving your gut of these specific color compounds is the absolute last thing you want to do. The actionable step here is to make sure you intentionally eat at least 1 profoundly dark-colored plant every single day. It could be as simple as tossing a handful of frozen blueberries into a morning smoothie, layering a slice of vibrant red onion onto your turkey sandwich, or roasting a small side of beautiful purple sweet potatoes with your dinner. If you are finding these specific tips useful and perhaps feeling a bit more hopeful about just how much control you actually still have over your daily health and comfort, please take a second to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps our channel reach more people just like you who are desperately looking for real, practical, science-backed answers instead of just being told that their pain is a normal part of getting older. Let us transition into a food group that many of us were explicitly taught to fear and avoid during the intense fat-phobic diet crazes of the 1980s and 90s: nuts and seeds. We will call this strategy the tiny time capsule method. So many older adults purposefully avoid nuts because they constantly worry about their weight, or they fear that nuts might be too hard to chew and digest, choosing instead to stick to plain, soft toast or simple crackers. But by entirely skipping these magnificent foods, you are unknowingly depriving your gut of crucial brain-protecting healthy fats and complex fermentable fibers. Nuts and seeds are truly tiny time capsules of life, densely packed with the exact perfect ratio of nutrients that an entire massive tree needs to initially sprout and grow, and your gut's longevity microbes absolutely thrive on extracting that locked-away energy. In fact, a massive, globally recognized study from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, which meticulously tracked over 100,000 people for 3 full decades, revealed that individuals who simply ate a small handful of nuts daily had a stunning 20% lower death rate from all causes, including heart disease and cancer, compared to those who completely avoided them. Imagine these tiny, powerful seeds as little, highly absorbent sponges that gently sweep through your digestive tract, soaking up and removing toxins while simultaneously feeding the exact strains of bacteria that work around the clock to keep your heart beating strong and your blood pressure stable. Now, if chewing whole, hard nuts is a genuine challenge for your teeth or your jaw, please do not worry at all. Your practical takeaway is to bypass the chewing entirely and buy pre-ground flaxseed, finely milled chia seeds, or a completely smooth, natural almond butter. You can simply stir a spoonful of ground seeds directly into your morning yogurt or blend it into a warm bowl of soup. It requires absolutely zero chewing effort, but still successfully delivers a massive, life-extending boost to your plant count and your longevity bacteria. Next on our list of necessary dietary shifts is something that might initially challenge your taste buds, but it is absolutely non-negotiably vital for your aging liver and your digestive health. We can call it the bitter truth. As we get older, our stomach's natural acid production steadily decreases, and our overall digestion becomes much more sluggish, frequently leading to that incredibly uncomfortable, heavy, bloated feeling after eating even a normal-sized meal. Most modern commercial diets have completely and systematically bred out natural bitter flavors in favor of continuous sweetness, meaning we eat lots of sweet corn, sweet green peas, and very mild, watery iceberg lettuce. But your longevity bacteria and your liver's detoxification process as a whole desperately need these missing bitter compounds to function optimally and clear out cellular waste. A rigorous multi-year study conducted by Rush University Medical Center over nearly 5 years carefully tracked older adults and found that those who consumed just one single serving of leafy green vegetables, specifically prioritizing dark, bitter ones like mature spinach, kale, and collard greens, per day, experienced a remarkably slower decline in memory and complex thinking skills, effectively making their brains function as if they were 11 years younger than those who rarely or never ate greens. Imagine these dark, bitter greens as a stiff, soapy scrubbing brush for your sluggish intestines, actively stimulating your dormant digestive juices and physically clearing out the stubborn, stagnant waste that causes you to feel so bloated, heavy, and fatigued. The vital takeaway here is to bravely introduce a touch of natural bitterness back into your daily life. You can easily swap out your plain, mild iceberg lettuce for a salad mix that includes peppery arugula. Toss just a few sharp dandelion greens into your usual salad bowl, or gently saute some robust mustard greens with a little bit of healthy olive oil and fresh garlic to perfectly soften their bite. Speaking of garlic, that perfectly brings us to our next crucial habit, which focuses on building the very foundation of your gut's internal ecosystem. We will name this the underground network. You see, it is not quite enough to just arbitrarily eat plants. You actually have to eat the specific, specialized plants that act as the primary fertilizer for the exact bacteria you desperately want to grow and multiply. These specific foods are called prebiotics. Many conventional clean diets focus far too heavily on lean proteins and simple, easily digested starches, completely and totally missing these prebiotic superstars, which are primarily found in the pungent allium family, a group that includes garlic, onions, leeks, and scallions. A truly fascinating study published recently in the Journal of Nutrition thoroughly investigated the long-term diets of older women and found that a high daily consumption of allium vegetables was strongly and undeniably associated with a significantly reduced risk of developing painful hip osteoarthritis. This incredible finding suggests that the sulfur compounds in garlic and onions are not just passively feeding your gut bacteria, but that those well-fed bacteria are then actively producing specific substances that travel through your bloodstream to protect and preserve the delicate, aging cartilage in your joints. Imagine onions and garlic as the rich, dark, heavily nutrient-dense potting soil that your internal gut garden absolutely requires in order to bloom. Without that deep foundation of healthy soil, even the absolute best, most expensive seeds simply will not grow. Your daily actionable takeaway here is to stop relying solely on just salt and black pepper to season your food and start purposefully using real chopped onions and minced garlic as the fundamental flavor base for as many of your cooked meals as possible. And please know, even if you just heavily use high-quality garlic powder or onion powder from your pantry, you are still actively adding to your weekly plant diversity and directly feeding those incredible joint-protecting microbes. Finally, let us discuss a powerful restorative strategy that goes far beyond just feeding the bacteria you already currently have and actually introduces vital, new, friendly recruits to your struggling gut army. We can call this the fermented reinforcement. Even if you are perfectly eating 30 different plants a week, your internal microbiome naturally and inevitably loses diversity as you age due to necessary prescription medications, past courses of antibiotics, and the simple, unavoidable biology of getting older. Your standard clean diet of steamed chicken and plain rice does absolutely nothing to replace these fallen and lost microscopic troops. This is exactly where traditional fermented foods come in to save the day. A truly groundbreaking, meticulously controlled clinical trial from the Stanford University School of Medicine discovered that a diet simply high in fermented foods, like natural yogurt, traditional kefir, fermented cottage cheese, spicy kimchi, and raw sauerkraut, steadily and significantly increased overall microbiome diversity and actively decreased dozens of systemic markers of inflammation in the blood over just a short 10-week period. This is an absolutely massive finding for you because chronic systemic inflammation is the known root cause of almost every single age-related disease you worry about, from rheumatoid arthritis to Alzheimer's disease to cardiovascular decline. Imagine simply eating a spoonful of tangy sauerkraut as actively sending a fresh, highly trained battalion of specialized, peacekeeping soldiers directly into your digestive tract to calm down and disarm the angry, highly inflammatory cells that are causing your daily aches, pains, and swelling. The practical everyday takeaway here is incredibly simple, and you do not need to eat a massive, overwhelming bowl of it. Just commit to adding 1 single tablespoon of real, naturally refrigerated sauerkraut to your dinner plate, or intentionally drink a small 4-ounce glass of tangy milk kefir with your morning breakfast. It counts beautifully as a distinct plant, and it successfully delivers billions of living, breathing, healing reinforcements directly to your aging body. So, let us take a deep breath together and look at just how far we have come today. The absolute secret to aging well, avoiding debilitating pain, and feeling truly vibrant is not about eating less. It is not about strictly restricting yourself to bland, joyless, clean foods. And it is certainly not about punishing your body for getting older. It is about embracing beautiful, abundant, colorful dietary diversity. By gently aiming for 30 different plants a week, generously sprinkling anti-inflammatory spices on your favorite meals, strategically prioritizing those deep blue and purple plant colors, intelligently sneaking in ground nuts and seeds without worrying about chewing, bravely embracing a little bit of digestive stimulating bitterness for your brain, building a rock-solid prebiotic foundation with plenty of garlic and onions, and finally sending in fermented reinforcements, you are doing vastly more to actively protect your physical independence than any restrictive, miserable fad diet ever could. I want you to always remember that your body is incredibly, beautifully resilient. No matter how much chronic joint pain you have been dealing with lately, or how deeply frustrated you feel about your fading energy levels, it is genuinely never too late to change the internal environment inside your gut. You hold the profound power to properly feed your longevity bacteria and actively tell your aging cells to heal, to aggressively fight systemic inflammation, and to keep you strong and capable enough to travel, to confidently work in your garden, and to hold your loved ones close for decades to come. You have the knowledge now, and you have the tools. What is one specific new plant or spice you are going to try adding to your meals this week? Let me know down in the comments below. I truly read as many as I possibly can, and I love hearing your plans. And if you found this conversation helpful, uplifting, and empowering, please like this video and subscribe to our growing community, because your health, your vitality, and your long-term independence are absolutely worth fighting for every single day. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time with me today. Remember to treat your aging body with kindness and grace, feed it with joyous abundance, and I will see you in the next video.